In a world looking for something to listen to, a group of friends rise to the challenge. It's Pop Samurai.
And we're back with another interview. I'm Jelani Hoon, your host for Pop Samurai Podcast. With me today is
Paul Pack.
And we're here at MightyCon Milwaukee, and we're about to do another interview, and we have a special guest. It is Miss Linda Lee King from Silver Phoenix Entertainment. How are you today, Miss Linda?
I'm doing quite well. A little floaty. You know, the energy in here is pretty high.
Well, yep, the
Loving
energy is so
crowded.
good in here. A nice
Crowded.
crowd,
Really crowded.
but a crowd of positivity, I guess.
It
is what you want to call
is.
it.
Everybody here has got a smile on them. They've got. All I can see is happy people. I don't see anybody grumpy.
Nope, no grumpiness here. A lot of people here to support the independent artists, to support the comic book companies, and support all types of things like Silver Phoenix Entertainment. How are you doing? You're here to promote. You're here with who? I'm sorry.
We're here for graphic novel. The graphic novels that Charles is producing. He likes to do a lot of artwork in his storytelling about issues, modern day issues, like he's doing. Am I too far?
Too far.
Hello.
I'm
I
sorry.
should remember my recording days.
Sure.
And he likes to do a lot of educational pieces with his publishing company.
Okay.
And he has taken me under his wing because of the story I have to tell. And since I have written true horror, it kind of fit in because he's getting me out of that the confinement and restriction of nonfiction.
Okay.
And he has got me involved in a project because he's doing a new graphic novel, which I'm not allowed to tell anybody yet.
Ooh.
Because there's always people that listen, and somehow you hear something and you say, hey, that was my idea. Right?
Hey.
Okay.
Good.
But he's been very instrumental in the last year getting Philo Barnhart, as you can see, the gentleman that works
with Disney.
Right. And he has really gotten him out of his shell because Philo's very quiet, like a lot of artists are. You know, you notice they're kind of reserved, and Charles is more like the cheerleader.
Yeah.
He gets everybody going.
And for those that aren't familiar with Philo, he's worked on everything from Gem and the Holograms, Fang Face, Disney's Little Mermaid,
Star Trek.
Space. Take us back to the video game, Space Ace and Dragon Slayer. So I mean, that to me, that I was amazed by that in itself.
Yes.
So tons of work.
Now you guys work as a whole kind of, I guess if you want to say, your own community under Silver Phoenix Entertainment, and you guys work together. You guys help each other out and promote each other as well. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about what Silver Phoenix Entertainment, kind of what they do, and what for people who don't know exactly?
Horror stories, absolute horror stories that are a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
And it's a great avenue, okay, it's a great avenue to let go of inhibitions.
Yes.
You know, you can take that feeling you have when you really want to wring somebody's neck, and you can just put it on paper.
Nice.
But he uses it. He tells stories so that he can educate people. He wants a wide audience. People today have less time to read a lot of words. You know, 250 words, 300.
Right.
He likes to condense it because everybody can benefit from turning a page, seeing the visuals, and just getting through a story.
Yes.
Now he uses this, and like I said, he does this to help people get. He likes to find broken people and get them back on their feet again. And this is his little specialty. He takes people under his wing and he helps them to evolve. He shows them where their talent is, and he's quite encouraging. And this is all about Silver Phoenix Entertainment.
Okay.
They like to work with people and see them get to their potential.
Oh, nice.
They like to have them expand and get out and get their work out there in other venues, because so many people are unaware how dynamic the comic book industry in itself has become.
Okay.
Right. You know, there's the thing about the comic book industry too is that when there's parents that are kind of against it and rather have their children read novels. The thing that people don't understand is, even with comic books, if your child is reading, they're still reading.
They're still reading.
That's the thing. And there are a lot of children out there that also have comprehension problems. That's the great thing about comic books, because that kind of, when you can get a visual of things, that really helps somebody with what they're reading.
That's exactly what Charles, that's his whole theme right there. That's exactly what he sees, because he knew, even when he's a special guy, he really is. I mean, he's awesome. You can tell he's brilliant. He's a bright man, full of vitality. But he remembers childhood, when teachers always say, well, you're not doing this fast enough,
Right.
But he actually was very bright, but overlooked because he wasn't fitting into the norm of society. This gives everybody, like I said, an avenue to get that release, to show who you are without actually, I'm looking for the word. I've been up since 5, so forgive me.
That's all right.
Little bird.
It's fine. It's a convention.
It is. It's a convention. But he does. He really has. Okay, I'm going to tell you an example. My daughter's very artistic. She's out in Pennsylvania, but it took so many years for her to actually see this. Charles went and saw my daughter, and she's producing work. She's actually producing material. He was the right person to go in and tell her, you are an artist. You are doing this. You just keep doing it. And he's taking her under his wing.
Yeah.
You have a lot of artists out there that they're not getting their work out there because they don't think they're good enough. No one will like my art. And that's untrue, because every avenue of art, no matter how it's drawn, there's something out there for somebody.
Oh, yes.
So
there's something out there.
And getting back to what you said about children and the visual in the comic book, that works. The kids can see the visual. They understand what you're saying in that visual. Oh, yeah. Now, he's done a couple of things, like he's going to do, he's putting together the history of police, for example, and he's doing it in a graphic novel, because he's going in to show all the way from the beginning of the police department, their history, all the way up to current day. He wants it to be out there so people get a good look at what law enforcement's about and what's been going on. And this is an educational piece that he's putting out there, but he's doing it in a graphic novel because it will be easier for people to digest. They can go through it and they can read the captions and get it with that visual, with that scene.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, too, with the comprehension thing, for people that have no issues, like I, for instance, can make heads or tails out of like a Lord of the Rings book or a Game of Thrones, because the names throw me off so badly. Yes. If I had a visual to go by with all those names, awkward names, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah. So
one thing I love about comic books and the things that they do. A lot of people call them maybe, that stuff's for kids, or this is for. No, I mean it's something. It's another medium for everybody, and it's something that's, I guess, if you want to call it, in between what video and the written word is. Something that works as a bridge between those two.
They've been really, really good with me. Now, as a writer, all I do is put words down. I write a lot of words.
Yeah.
This has been quite a challenge. I've been working on the 2 parts of the series that I've been working on since last October.
What's it called?
Okay, I can tell you what it's called. It's called No Remorse, The Birth of a Foot Fetish.
Ooh.
It's a story of a serial killer.
Nice.
So, and I have 2 parts completed, but it was a lot of pain to get it out, because every time I got it back from the editor, which is Brian Morris, I had a sheet. The whole sheet was red. In red, you gotta cut this out. They can't see this. You gotta explain this in another way. I'm crumbling because I'm the writer. I write words, and this is my first experiment. Doing this, my experience, I should say, and an experiment on my part.
I see.
But Charles Moisant was, he wasn't a ball buster about it. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh no, that's fine. I use all sorts of foul language on the show. Sure. I just wait for the kids to pass.
He was very, very honest, open, and very gentle about certain things. He goes, don't worry about this. We can work around that. We can fix this. Okay. It all can be fixed.
Okay.
And I I went back and I said, okay, you guys are getting me. And I said, is it okay if I do cut and paste? And I did cut and paste. Well, we got the story done. So it's all been training for me. This has all been new.
Yeah, everything learning, takes time.
It sure does. Okay. But this is, to me, as a mother and grandmother right now. Yes, I am a grandmother. I have 9. Can you believe it?
Oh boy!
But I look at myself as the person that has to still be the example because I'm the head of household in the family. I'm head of the clan now.
Okay.
So I keep pushing it. I keep pushing the envelope. I keep making other strides, and that's the inspiration I want to be for others.
Right.
Okay, how hard to do it.
Do the grandkids know you write?
Oh yes.
Stuff? Okay.
Oh yes. They've seen some of the pictures. Yes, they have. And it's so funny. I was speaking to a lady that was sitting next to me, and I was giving her a brief description of my story, and she's just looked at me and she said, "Oh my, you're twisted." And she's from Wisconsin, somewhere around here. Jeannie.
I usually take twisted as a compliment.
And it was, because the way she said it, it really was a genuine compliment. Because after she said I was twisted, she goes, "Oh, I can't wait to read that."
Nice. Very nice.
Nice.
So I naturally told Charles to let him know that his efforts are working.
Okay. And you're currently, right now, you're working on that graphic
novel. It's a graphic
right
novel.
Is this you said that was your first one that you're working on?
Yes.
Now, you've done other novels, but those were more nonfiction, correct?
I have written one book. It's nonfiction, and that's the one you're holding in your hand. That's a true crime story, which is a true horror story.
That will be Sticks and Stones and Broken Bones by Miss Linda Lee King.
Thank you. This is a true horror story.
Nice.
So
very nice.
And for those listening, where can they purchase this?
You can go right online. You can go right to the publisher at abbottpress.com, or you can go to Amazon and use your discount, your Prime card if you have one, or Barnes & Noble.
Nice. And if they want to find out more about you, where can they go to find more about you?
Just type in my name in Google and watch the hits fly. I get usually about 40 million hits on my name for some reason.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
You can also go to www.lindaleeking.com, correct?
Correct.
To find out more, and
it's just Linda Lee King. That's all you have to type in, and it's easy.
Linda Lee King, and also at Linda Lee King Twitter.
Yes.
Correct?
Please find me on Twitter.
Go over there, find her, and get some more information about her, guys, because she is a lovely lady, and she's come here to talk about the way that everyone here is talking about comics and graphic novels, and the way that we're all trying. Like I brought it up a couple times today, but the rising tide lifts all ships, and if we all come together as a community, we can build up this whole great community of just us having fun together and us creating and supporting each other.
And look at all these parents here. I was so excited to see these parents have their kids here, and they got them dressed up in characters. This is a fun time for kids.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be just adults just because it's creepy or spooky or scary.
Oh yeah.
And the kids are just, they're in awe of it all.
Yes.
They're
all being introduced to something that I believe should be everywhere, and it bridges the medium between all of us and everything. So.
It's just like I had an English teacher. I remember a conference where my parents said, all he wants to do is read comic books. And he said, hey, at least he's reading. And boom, all of a sudden comic books were no longer a problem.
Nice.
That's right. They tell great stories.
Right.
We're looking at other things, too, to use it as a tool. Take, for example, maybe a particular situation, like I would like to do a short, brief comic myself on PTSD.
Uh-huh.
To be able to put into schools for children to see, to be able to read, and for the educators, because I think they should be able to recognize this in children in the classroom now when things are bad at home, not just what you hear normally, but there are
many people who don't know about the things that war does to soldiers, and the way that the things they go through, and not knowing more about what PTSD does for people. Getting it out there and getting the word, something like that with that short story, that sounds amazing to me. And if it was in schools, I would be amazed by it if that was there at schools. And that's a very great idea.
So that's another one that we'll be working on in the future. So I've started the writing of it.
Okay.
So that will be happening.
Okay, all right.
Before the end of the year.
Thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
We appreciate
you coming on here. Again,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Again,
It was
everybody
nice
get
meeting
over
you.
to
Appreciate it.
www.lindaleeking.com. Check out her work. She's an amazing woman. And don't forget to look up Silver Phoenix Entertainment. If you're an artist out there trying to get out there, a comic book artist, get out there, check it out, Google it. You'll find it. You'll find information about it.
That's
and you'll be able to find out more about it as well. Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been Jelani Hoon. We'll get out there and we'll find out more information with more interviews.
Thank you very much. We appreciate this.
Oh, no, thanks. Thanks for coming on our show.
Okay.
We love having you.
Will Our Heroes podcast survive? Spread the word, subscribe, and tune in next time. Same Pop Samurai time, same Pop